London and the state opening of Parliament, the occasion on which the people see their Queen in her most royal estate. And Balmoral in Scotland, where a young mother spends precious summer days with her family. Two pictures of the same woman, which tell in part something of the mysterious bonds that unite a queen with her people. Bonds of love and pride, which had their beginning in her childhood, long before she'd dreamt of being queen. When her father came unexpectedly to the throne, her long training began. Through her girlhood, she was schooled for her great destiny, a schooling which both brought her closely into contact with people and set her apart, taught her to mingle, yet to detach herself and take the helm. This was wartime, but there were days of leisure, as well as days of duty. Here, Princess Elizabeth takes the salute of a march past of the Women's Land Army. She joined one of the women's services, and the king was proud and sometimes amused to see that his daughter could maintain an army lorry. Eventually, the war ended, and a modest, self-effacing girl comes out onto the balcony to pay tribute with the rest of her family and the nation to Prime Minister Winston Churchill. And to those who died in the war. After the war, there was a trip to South Africa, and for the princess, an opportunity to enjoy the voyage and the deck games like any other girl. In South Africa, she reached her 21st birthday, and it was here she made her now famous dedication.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong. But I shall not have strength to carry out this resolution alone, unless you join in it with me, as I now invite you to do.
Before the South African visit, the princess had been a bridesmaid at Lady Patricia Mountbatten's wedding. And here was another Mountbatten, Prince Philip. When the royal family returned from South Africa, the two young people had made up their minds. The king gladly gave his consent, and in July 1947 they became engaged. The princess's obvious happiness brings a mood of rejoicing. Culminating in her wedding day, a day when the whole nation feels strongly their ties with the princess and her family, a day in which everyone feels they have a share. For a few weeks, they have a quiet country honeymoon, a chance to go for walks and look at wedding pictures. And then they go to Paris, and Paris acclaims her, a princess at once warm and dignified, life-size and symbolic. These same qualities endeared her to the Canadians, too. There was much for the princess to see, chuck wagon racing. Red Indians in their splendid traditional costumes. But in the midst of all the excitement and her pleasure at the warm welcome, there was always the memory of the baby boy she'd had to leave at home in London. Her first baby, Prince Charles, one day to be king. Like his mother, this baby will never know what the word choice means. Destiny has already mapped his life. At this happy moment, the princess is a mother like any other mother. But more and more, her father's illness was making it necessary for her to bear a sovereign's responsibilities. In 1951, she took the king's place at the ceremony of trooping the colour. In 1952, there came the personal tragedy of her father's death. The whole nation shared her sorrow, for King George VI was dearly loved. Now, Elizabeth is queen. At her coronation, her husband, Prince Philip, kisses her cheek and swears allegiance, mitigating something of the loneliness of being queen. Her son and heir, Prince Charles, was brought specially at the Queen's request for that part of the ceremony when she was crowned. Mother and now monarch. People in the Commonwealth wanted to see her, and she went to Australia. Then on to New Zealand. A Maori chief danced for her, and she herself was made a chief.